Hey guys, it's Maddie, and today I'm going to be summarizing Folklore by Taylor Swift. Before I begin, I want to say thank you for the support on my video explaining Evermore. This was highly requested, so I decided to do a simple overview of Folklore. Obviously, I'm not going to go super in depth, but I do think that this includes pretty good descriptions on the songs, and hopefully it will help you understand them better. I also want to make the disclaimer that the gender of most characters in this album are never specified, so I believe that it is up for interpretation. And I will try not to assume anything in my summaries, but please forgive me if I make a mistake. Let's get started. Track 1, appropriately titled The One, is a song about reminiscing on a past relationship, which is specifically showcased in the line, "If my wishes came true, it would have been you," which shows that the narrator and their ex broke up, and they were wishing that they hadn't, but it just didn't work out that way. It's a song of nostalgia. Track 2, Cardigan, is the lead single off of Folklore. This is the first song from Folklore's teenage love triangle, which is followed by August and Betty. Cardigan is rumored to be sung from Betty's perspective. Taylor herself says that the song is about a lost romance and why young love is often fixed so permanently within our memories, why it leaves such an indelible mark. It's about looking back at lost love and remembering how it made you feel, the good and the bad. Track 3, The Last Great American Dynasty. This follows the story of Rebecca Harkness, who was a real woman. Taylor owns a mansion in Rhode Island that was once owned by Rebecca, and it is known as the Holiday House. Taylor was very inspired by Rebecca, who was an American composer, sculptor, dance patron, and philanthropist. She has stated that she's always wanted to write a song about Rebecca, and that this was the perfect opportunity. Throughout the song, Taylor draws comparisons between the two of them. In Taylor's own words, they are both the lady that lives in the house on the hill that everybody gets to gossip about. Track 4 is Exile. In simple terms, it's about two exes seeing each other after the breakup. Justin Vernon, or Bon Iver's character, sings about how quickly Taylor's character moved on, and Taylor's character sings about how she left many signs that the relationship wasn't working anymore. Taylor says that the song shows that these two lovers have never been and never will be on the same page, even despite breaking up. It's worth noting the difference in their voices. Justin has a much deeper, rougher tone, while Taylor has a smooth and soft tone, which displays contrast, much like the relationship itself. Track 5, My Tears Ricochet, certainly lives up to the heart-wrenching expectations of every track 5 on any Taylor album. Taylor states that it is about an embittered tormentor showing up at the funeral of his fallen object of obsession, which sounds strangely familiar. Although it has never been confirmed, the song draws many parallels to the case of Scooter Braun and Scott Procetta versus Taylor. To them, Taylor was nothing more than a catalog of valuable songs. Track 6, Mirrorball, is a song supposedly sung in the perspective of Taylor herself. In the Long Pond studio sessions, she mentions that this song lyrically addresses the state of the world right now, especially the pandemic and the effect it has had on everyone. In her case, despite the world quite literally ending, she still finds herself working as hard as ever, writing songs, and still trying to keep us happy and entertained, much like the purpose of a mirrorball. Track 7, titled 7, is a song about childhood, specifically a childhood friend of Taylor's. It is unclear whether or not they are real or fictional. They live in an abusive household. Taylor reminisces on her innocence when she was 7 and how she thought problems could so easily be solved. A lot of the lines in the song are very naive. For example, "And I think you should come live with me and we can be pirates. Then you won't have to cry or hide in the closet." The narrator believes that an issue as severe as an abusive father can be solved by running away to be pirates, simply because they are 7 and don't know any better. Track 8, August, is the second song in the teenage love triangle. Taylor has nicknamed the narrator of the song Augustine, who is the girl that James, who will be introduced in track 14, Betty, cheated on Betty with. The song is about a summer fling. The narrator sings about how she was falling for James, even though he essentially saw their relationship as nothing more than an ill-fated summer romance. Track 9, This Is Me Trying, discusses taking responsibility for issues in relationships, and that despite giving your best attempts, not being able to repair them. It discusses alcoholism, fear, and failure, and how the narrator has many regrets about how they handled situations in the relationship. However, in a way, it shows growth because they are taking the first step to healing, which is humility and admitting where they went wrong. Track 10, Illicit Affairs, is a song about infidelity, specifically the short-lived high that it gives you and the long-term consequences that follow. She mentions it several times throughout the song, but most notably in the line, "A drug that only worked the first few hundred times." Track 11, Invisible String, is greatly inspired by Taylor's personal romantic life with her boyfriend of 4 years, Joe Alwyn. It's also inspired by an East Asian folk myth about tying two soulmates together by a thread of fate. There are several references to Joe. One includes, "Teal was the color of your shirt when you were 16 at the yogurt shop." Joe used to work at a yogurt shop in London where the employees all wear teal uniforms. In the song, she also discusses her gratefulness for her past relationships because she learned from them and wouldn't be as successful as she is now in her current relationship. Track 12, Mad Woman, follows the story of a seemingly delusional woman, which references to Taylor's personal life, specifically her ongoing feud with Scooter, Scott, Kanye, and Kim. The line, "'cause you took everything from me," could be tied to the fact that Scooter took her first 6 masters from her. Taylor has also spoken about double standards and how women are too easily considered crazy, while when men are emotional, they are seen as passionate. The song is somewhat similar to Blank Space, capitalizing on the image that the media has portrayed of her, a mad, crazy woman. Track 13, Epiphany, is an ode to her grandfather Dean, who was in the military in 1942. It also has sort of a double meaning because it seems to reference the current state of the world and the healthcare workers who are working long, hard hours in a pandemic. The first verse is more reminiscent of working medically in the military, whereas the second verse seems to be more of a modern hospital setting. Overall, the song is about hope to find peace in an angry and chaotic world. Track 14, Betty, is the last song in the teenage love triangle and is sung from the perspective of James, the person who cheated on Betty with Augustine. Taylor has confirmed that James is a boy, but I do think that it's fun to listen to the song in multiple perspectives. She says that James has lost the love of his life and doesn't understand how to get it back. This is the first song that Taylor had ever written with her boyfriend Joe, and all of the characters in the song are named after the children of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, who are her good friends. Cardigan is also mentioned in the song through the line, "standing in your cardigan," which gives somewhat of a confirmation that Betty is indeed the narrator of track 2. Track 15 is Peace, and Taylor herself has said that peace is derived from her personal life and that when you live a very public life, it can be scary when you fall in love, especially with somebody who leads a grounded life, like her boyfriend Joe does. In Peace, she sings about how despite the things that will inevitably happen, for example, being paparazzi'd, being in the tabloids, having rumors created, that her lover will stay with her. In her own words, she says that peace is about the question, would it be enough if I could never fully achieve the normalcy that we both crave? In track 16, Hoax, the narrator of the song discusses the hardships that they face in a toxic relationship. Even though they've endured a lifetime of troubles, they can't get themselves to let go of the relationship. This idea is referenced in the lines, "Your faithless love's the only hoax I believe in," and "Don't want no other shade of blue but you, no other sadness in the world would do." By the song ending with that line, it shows that although the narrator has acknowledged that this love is toxic, they just can't bring themselves to leave. I believe that track 17, The Lakes, is another song that is a reflection of Taylor's personal life and how she's been demonized by the media and that the lakes are a place that she can go for peace. She makes several references to cancel culture, the most notable being these hunters with cell phones. The lakes mentioned by Taylor, which is the Lake District in England, is notoriously where a group of English poets lived in the 19th century. In a way, it's a love song about simply wanting to hide away and settle down with her lover without interference by the media. I hope you guys enjoyed my explanation of folklore. Hopefully it cleared some things up for you if you were ever confused. And let me know if there are any other albums you would like me to do this for. I know most about Taylor and Harry, but if you have any other suggestions, please comment them below. Thanks for watching.